Tamangurangura Kushika kwatiwe
is taking off. The eagle is taking off with infallible proofs. It's a new era. One night with the king.
What does it mean to be Zimbabwean? To be Zimbabwean is to carry the mark of leadership. And leadership begins when you embrace your purpose and take responsibility. These times we're living in are evidence that each one of us was born in this generation for a great purpose. A purpose to shape Zimbabwe's future, a responsibility to carry the promise and live in the Zimbabwe we want. Zimbabwe is waiting for a generation of people who understand the meaning of standing up. You are the stepping stone, the one with the flame of inspiration, the one with the passion, the one who has what it takes to move Zimbabwe forward. It's time to stand up and do what is right. It's time to rise and do your part. It's beyond a privilege. It's an inheritance, a pledge that everyone has to make. So rise, Zimbabwe. Simuka, Zimbabwe. Pakama, Zimbabwe. It's time to pledge, register, and go.
Revival International Ministries Wachange takaungana pa Zimbabwe College of Music. Tinotiyo one night with the king. Patinenge takaungana na baba vedu Apostle Dr. Professor Raymond Mjay, the Oracle of God naika. Pamwechete na mama vedu Prophetess Agrita Mjay. So 3 November it's a night with the king. Pachange tichitanga naiko pa Zimbabwe College of Music 7 p.m. Shikamangwana acho na 8 a.m. Uyemaka wandaka unochaga okuya no kausuye uruwani kapika.
Aribo ere ane ndoro tena Wandinga kwanisa kumenshena Paru zindi nisinga kukomplena Chimwe ya zidu ku-explaina Vanomira newa shaka oma bangani Vanokurira mumatangu tiko bangani Basinga sukureve usipo bangani Saka shaka yako yakanaka shamari Vanomira newa shaka oma bangani Vanokurira mumatangu tiko bangani Basinga sukureve usipo bangani Saka shaka yako yakanaka shamari naye aikona kuzoyeuka pave paye wazoviringwa newa unenge unaye kuzoyeuka bako mvura yana yakare wozochema kuti ndiyandiparira dzimwe chamwari dzinoda kutongwarira anofara kutoona uchuyuwira ozouya pedyo kunganoda kukuyamura vanomira nevashakaoma vangani vanokurwira mumatambudziko vangani vasingazokureve usipo vangani saka shaka yako yakanaka shamwari vanomira nevashakaoma vangani vanokurwira mumatambudziko vangani vasingazokureve usipo vangani saka shaka yako yakanaka shamwari anofara kutoona chitambura chaga chamwari kwayo nozokuyamura paunotema paya nokubvumba mera azombokusiye pasi uchiwira musodzi pamatama anokupukuta zvamunotaura patenyu anopumbata azoende kune vanhu achigwauta shamwari yemachokwadi isiri yekujuta aripo here ane ndoro chena wandingakwanisa kumenshena paruzhinji ndisingambokomplena chimwe yazviri kuexplana vanomira nevashakaoma vangani vanokurwira mumatambudziko vangani vasingazokureve usipo vangani saka shaka yako yakanaka shamwari vanomira nevashakaoma vangani vanokurwira mumatambudziko vangani vasingazokureve usipo vangani saka shaka yako yakanaka shamwari mupenyu ziva wekutamba naye.
You have heard about her. You have read about her. Who am I talking about? Well, she is right here with me to talk about her. As you have read, or as you have read from our topic, what is it that we are going to talk about? We are streaming live from Bulawayo. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Robert Afmane, and the program is This and That. And if you want to hear much more about ZimdiTV, like our Facebook page. Every time we go live on air, you will get a notification and you will never miss some of our exciting and informative programs that we stream live on ZimdiTV online, the only TV that is interactive, and we respect your views and comments as well. And those views and comments will remain yours. But as I've said, the good thing is our TV or your TV is interactive. We get the chance to talk about everything. You ask questions and the guest will respond to those questions. As I have said, we are streaming from Bulawayo. Who is my guest today? Treat Trans Research Education and Advocacy Training. Who is this person? She is the executive director of that organization. But hold on, we are not going straight into that. We are going to find out who is Ricky Nathanson. As I've said, you've read about her. Ricky was born a man, but now proudly living as a woman. Let's get straight to talk to her. Ricky, welcome to ZimdiTV Online.
Thank you.
It has been very difficult to get hold of you.
Yes, I know. The nature of my work entails that I travel extensively.
Okay.
I travel regionally. I do a lot of work in the region of Southern Africa, and I also do a lot of work internationally.
But
at the United Nations in Geneva and in New York as well.
And do you get to travel locally to
Yes,
Zimbabwe, to Gai?
Locally, I
Zambia?
travel mainly Harare, which is the capital.
Oh, okay.
But when we do have projects and programs that need for treats to go out to other towns
Okay.
and smaller locations, I have a staff complement that travel to those small towns. To put it into perspective, in 2016, Treat undertook a research around Zimbabwe. We were looking specifically at the stigma and discrimination that is being faced by the transgender and the gender non-conforming population of Zimbabwe. We covered 8 cities and towns where we travelled. My research assistants travelled as far afield as Victoria Falls, Mutari, that was the furthest north and south they went. They went to Kweru, they went Kwekwe, Harare, obviously, Bulawayo, Plumtree, and Masvingo.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll come to Treat later on in the program. But tell me, Ricky, you are a woman,
Yes,
a proud woman.
yes,
You were born a man.
yes.
How did that come about now that you are a woman?
Well, you see, being transgender, if you know anything about the acronym SOGIE or SOGIE,
No.
SOGIE, which stands for Sexual Orientation, Gender Identity and Expression. So human beings are born with a sexual orientation, which means that's the person with whom they want to go to bed with, they're sexually attracted to.
Okay.
And we are also born with a gender identity or gender expression. Now, gender, the term gender itself, is a socially constructed norm which says that if a person is born with a particular body part, like a penis, for example, they need to behave in such a way. If they're born with a vagina, they're meant to perform in another way. But being transgender, transgender means basically somebody who trans is Latin, which means to cross. It's somebody who crosses the gender line. So even though I may have been born with a male anatomy, with the anatomy of my sex may have been male, my gender identity is female, which is why I'm a transgender person. And there's been huge debates as to how this happens, why this happens. Yeah. Is it because my environment in which I grew up, etc. But I can safely say being transgender is an inherent feeling. It's a feeling that you have, and we could sit and have this discussion for 6 hours.
Yeah, okay.
But it has a lot to do with not with your society or like people say, oh, if boys play with girls, they'll be like girls, and if girls play with that's not the case.
Okay.
It's basically how you actually feel, and this is how your mind tells you that you are, and it has to do with with hormone levels. It has to do with actually what you are when you are born. You know, it's not a social construct. So it's nothing that society can teach anybody.
Okay.
I mean, I would not say that anybody that I know, in anyone who's transgender or who's now a transsexual, who's undergone surgery, or anybody who feels that they are not in the correct gender that they were assigned by society. I cannot safely say that those people would consciously go against society and go against norms and face the stigma and discrimination and the ridicule that we have to face every single day, consciously knowing that is what they will face. So it has to be something more than that.
Okay.
You know, it has to be more than that. It has to be more. It has to be a feeling that you actually have, that this is who I actually am. You know, and who I am is not my physical body. Who I am is the person that's within me.
From your explanation, I want you to go deeper, as they say at church, go deeper.
Yeah.
You can have your water. Then the feeling in the mind that you're talking about, we have gays and lesbians.
Yes.
And then we have transgender. Like,
Yes.
what is the difference? Do someone feel that I'm gay and they want to be a woman, or they just live as gays? Do we have some who say I'm a lesbian and live as a lesbian, or they want to trans as well?
Okay, yeah. Okay, now the acronym that I started, the SOGI, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, are two different things.
Okay.
So, sexual orientation is the attraction that you feel to a person.
Oh, okay.
Be it physically,
Okay.
sexually, mentally, financially, it's sexual. So,
Romantically.
romantically.
Yes.
So that is what a gay person is. So it's a gay person is somebody who's male-bodied, who is romantically, sexually, physically, all those things attracted to another person. Whereas gender identity is somebody of how I feel that I actually am.
Okay.
So I mean, I could be a transgender woman and I could be asexual, not wanting to have sex with anybody. I could identify as a transgender woman, but then be attracted to physically biological women that would make me a lesbian.
Okay.
Because you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
I
so
get
it's
you.
it's completely different. So a person's sexuality is completely different to their gender identity, and this is something which I'm so glad has come up, because it has caused such problems, especially in not only Zimbabwe, but the rest of I'd say Southern Africa, even Africa as a whole, because people in the know, those that are in power, subsume gender identity with sexual orientation.
Okay.
So they see a transgender woman and they say this person's a gay man. It's a man in a dress, it means that the person is gay.
Okay.
Or they see a transgender man, that's a female to male gender transition, and they say, oh, this is a lesbian.
Okay.
But that person may not even sleep with anybody. So the sexual orientation is completely separate and different to gender identity.
Yes, Ricky, when we were growing up, how did you feel? You know,
Like I say, I always felt that I was like you have you heard the, I know it sounds like a cliche, but have you heard the expression where they say you're trapped in the wrong body?
I've read.
Yeah. So that's basically to put it in a nutshell. That's how I'd say 99.9% of the transgender people feel. They feel that I'm this person, but I'm in the wrong body, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you find if you've heard of the high suicide rates that transgender people face. Like for example, like I said to you, when Treats did the research across Zimbabwe, we reached out to over 150 trans people in Zimbabwe. At least 44% of them had tried to kill themselves at least once in their lifetime, for the simple reason that they couldn't cope with living or being forced to live the way that they didn't feel that they were meant to live by society and by governments and officials and the system. as it stands.
There's someone who just sent a question here who's called Sugar Dombolo. She used to be a man, or another guest is coming soon.
Oh, I'm the guest.
Sugar, Ricky is the guest. She was born a man, and as I've said from the beginning, she is now a woman. There is no any other guest who is coming. She is right here. If you have got any other questions, please bring it on. She is here, free and open to answer all the questions that members of the society might have had. Andres Bakit Kashmir said, congrats.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Then someone says, what is it, Chango Shika? Others also want us to talk about Zodwa, who is coming to Harare. Eninira will talk about that. Most of the guys, they also want Prophet Madungwe. Okay, Prophet Madungwe will come maybe probably next week to talk about Prophet Madungwe. As I've said, today we are streaming live from Bulawayo with Ricky Nathanson. You've read about her. She was born a woman and she's now a trans woman. Am I right?
I was born a man.
She was born a man. She's now a trans woman. So
I was born with the sex of a man.
This is what
my gender identity was always female.
This is coming from her, and that's why we have invited her, so that if there are also other people who are living in that kind of society, please, this is your time to also come and hear Ricky's experience, so that we can share the experience. Olivia Pope, what's your name on Facebook?
Ricky Nathanson. It's the same as it is there.
Yes, it's the same as the name that is also on the screen. And then we have Sugar Dobolo comes back and say, thank you, she looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Are you married?
No, I'm single.
She is single as well. Right. So when you're growing up, your friends, were they mostly boys or girls?
I had an eclectic mix of boys and girls. You know, I must say I was very fortunate in the fact that I grew up in a very understanding family. My parents were both in the teaching profession, so they were very. I don't use the word educated because I don't want to make it sound as though other people are uneducated, but they were very understanding. And they were very respectful of the way I wanted to live. I wasn't forced to do things I didn't want to do. So like I wasn't forced, like for example, to go and play soccer, and I wasn't forced to go and do sports. So if I wanted, like I play the piano. So when I turned 6, I wanted to learn how to play the piano. I went to piano lessons. When I was 10, I enrolled in dancing and drama. So those are the sort of things, and my parents were very supportive.
But what about the other boys? Do they understand?
Yeah, no. The thing is, you know, I'm the youngest of 9 children, and before me, I have two brothers that come directly before me, and they were very, very protective. So they sheltered me from any sort of harm that may have come my way. Yes, I had 1 or 2 incidents growing up, but they weren't as bad as those stories that I've heard about the people. The worst experience that happened to my life was when I was arrested a few years ago for going to the bathroom. Yeah, but up until that point, my life was fairly uneventful.
Okay, at what point or at what age did you say, I am now going for surgery?
Well, I haven't had surgery. I haven't had surgery yet. I currently am on hormonal therapy.
Okay.
But I haven't. Surgery is a matter of choice.
Okay.
You don't have to have surgery. It's not a must. And you know, having done a bit of research, the success rate of the transsexual surgery is not 100%. You know, and it's also very expensive. And it opens up so many other doors and so many other issues health-wise. So that is something I'm contemplating at the moment, is to undergo surgery. But currently, I have not yet had surgery.
Okay, thank you. Because someone has also asked, Linda Rose Chieza, she had also asked the question, so has she had surgery and full transition?
Yeah. Now I've transitioned. I've transitioned socially. I've socially transitioned, meaning I live the way I live. I've actually transitioned in 2010.
Okay.
I've lived like this for 17 years now. And I only really started hormonal therapy about less than 6 months ago.
Okay.
But like I said before, I always looked like a woman, even before I transitioned.
Okay.
So it really was. I must say, I must thank the universe, or whoever I must thank, that my transition wasn't difficult because I look the way I look.
Okay,
Like I haven't had any work done on my face or anything. It's just I've always looked like this.
Okay, that's fine. Anna Mabiza Nyamanzi is watching. Thank you very much for watching. And Linda Rose Chieza, she said, well composed, Ricky.
Thank you.
Then Kennedy Kenso Nikas, do you have a boyfriend?
No, I don't.
She's single. And Dominique Katsinde, is he able to give birth?
No, I can't, because like I say, my body, the body with which I was born, was that of the male anatomy, and people that are male bodied do not have a womb to carry a child.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be possible. So even after surgery, those that do undergo the transsexuals, those that do undergo surgery are not able to carry children. It's still something that has yet to be discovered. It has yet to be the scientists to find out how they can make a womb to fit into a body. And also, as transgender people, our pelvises are not wide enough for during childbirth. So up until now, even in the global north, there is not a transgender woman that has ever had a child that's given birth. No.
Yeah. Then there is Mainga na Mazwi Hanzi Inga. Then Chihera Inyayay. Just watch. We are streaming live from Bulawayo, and we are talking to Ricky, as you have read on the topic that we are talking about today. Ricky, obviously you have someone who you confide to, either as a friend or within your brothers and sisters. Who was the first person who told that I am going to trans?
Actually, I didn't tell anybody. I basically just it was a slow progression. Like I said, I always looked like a woman, and I would see, because my professionally, I am a chartered secretary, like a chartered accountant. So my day-to-day work, I would have to dress formally in male attire. But then weekends I would like dress up, but very androgynous sort of dressing where you can't really tell, and then it sort of progressed slowly. And then in 2010, when I left formal employment and I started my own modeling agency, is when I fully transitioned. And then I just that's it. I just lived like this. I didn't seek permission from anybody. I didn't feel that I needed to be honest. So yeah, that basically is what happened.
Okay. How many sisters are in your family?
I have 3 sisters.
So you're now 4 girls.
Yeah, now 4 girls now.
I want to put myself in your father's shoe, and your mother. How then did they discover that they now have 4 girls in their family?
Like I say, it wasn't ever spoken about. They just accepted me as I am. It wasn't like I didn't one day and say, okay, fine, look, this is who I am. Yesterday I was looking. Okay. It was just like with even like my mother would say to me, oh, like we'd go shopping. Oh, don't you think this is nice? That is nice. So it wasn't as though it was like this whole big announcement or a coming out party or something to say that I've now changed from being A to B. It was a natural transition. And like I said, I didn't tell anybody, it was a natural progression.
Okay. Then there's Big Mike. Does he have a penis or V?
But I still have a penis. Yes.
Okay. And Brian Mhlolo, why did she opted for that? This is what we are discussing today. Then there is Roderick Mashingaidze Hanzi Mashura Paduni. Well, maybe at the end of the program,
What does that mean?
the person is surprised by your decision to be what you are today. Then there is Brian again is back. Guys, please pray for me. I'm going to the hospital tomorrow because I have a problem with my eyes. Every time I look into the comments, I have seen nothing related to the post. Well, probably we will pray for you as well, but I don't know how you are also able to see your post and not seeing other posts as well. Big Mike says that means you are a man. I think it's just a comment. And Evans Tavaguta, thank you for watching. Cecilia Tombe, which country is she from?
Zimbabwe.
We are streaming live from Bulawayo, the second city of Zimbabwe, and this is a live program. Linda Rose Chiedza Saka azvinetsi here dating, especially before you are full transitioned. How do men take it? Are you having any problems when you're dating?
I wouldn't want to answer that question.
Okay, as you have heard, she have reacted to that, and let's move on now to where you are. You were living in Bulawayo and you are still living in Bulawayo.
Yes.
People have known you as a Ricky and Mel, and some would call names and some would say. How then did you start using, like the last time you were arrested for using a bathroom, which was you entered into a male bathroom or a female bathroom? And the people said, the police said you entered into the wrong bathroom.
No, it was actually instigated by an individual.
Oh, okay.
Just to contextualize it, I mean, I actually had lived like this from 2010, even earlier than 2009. No, it was earlier, 2008. And at that stage, I ran a modeling agency, which I still do, but it's a bit quiet now. And I was known. I mean, I was known in Bulawayo. I mean, I was in the newspapers, like I am. I attend functions. I go up and down to Miss Zimbabwe, Miss Bulawayo, etc. And it wasn't an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, what happened was there was somebody, a young man who was new to Bulawayo. That I had sort of like met and interacted with, but just like on a hello goodbye basis. And then on the day in question, he was this guy was really drunk, and that day that he claims I went to the bathroom, I actually hadn't even gone. I'd gone to the bathroom previously, but I mean, like looking the way I look, I mean, it's much safer to go to a female bathroom than it is to go to a male bathroom.
Okay.
So I don't cut a long story short, he got the police, he phoned the police arrested me, and I spent 3 days and 2 nights in jail.
What was the charge?
Criminal nuisance for a male using a female bathroom. But then when we went to court, when we went to trial 2 weeks later, under the Criminal Nuisance Act, I think it's Chapter 46, whatever it is, there's a third schedule of offences that constitute criminal nuisance behaviour. There is nothing on it that says that people can go to the toilet that they choose.
Okay.
If you think about it, in a home, there aren't separate toilets for boys and girls. Everyone uses the same toilet.
Yeah, yes.
In the office, for example, we all use the same toilet.
Yeah.
So that's just a social construct, which I don't get into sociology now, which was meant for certain reasons. But that's kind of long story short.
Okay. Then we have Dre Ja. I don't know where you are watching us from. For also those that are watching and sending comments and questions, please also tell us where you are watching from. Dre Ja says, is this allowed in Zimbabwe law?
Is what allowed?
To transform a man to...
There's no law that says I can't live around here.
There you are. She says there is no law which says she can live.
The only law that the only law that's there that sort of inhibits behavior is sexual activity between two same-sex people. But there's no law that says that a person can't exist. I mean, there's freedom of expression in the Constitution.
Then Dominique Katsinda said, are you a Christian?
I am a Christian, yes.
Yes. Then Linda Rose Chiesa said, I didn't get my response anywhere. All the best. I didn't also get your comment. Maybe I've missed it. There are a lot of questions that are also coming in. If I do get it, I will definitely ask her so that she can respond. Mice Gay says, do you intend to remove the male organ?
It's a very, we had this discussion earlier.
Yeah.
And at the moment, firstly, I would love to, but it's really expensive. That's one of the main inhibiting factors. And secondly, the operation is not 100% guaranteed to be successful. So yes, I would eventually want to do so.
Okay. There's something that we talked about earlier on. I think the person was not yet here. Liz Chiduku, I don't know where you are watching from. Please tell us where you are watching from. She talked about it, but I also want you to respond to your question. She said there's another transgender woman we have announced that she's pregnant. According to pregnancy.
Yeah.
Please, can you your guest explain?
Actually, to be honest, I don't believe that's true. Yeah.
Liz, she says, honestly, I don't believe that's true. Now, let's come to Treat. What is Treat?
Treat is an organization which I formed in 2016 after my arrest and my trial in 2014. I felt it was necessary to address the rights issues of transgender and gender non-conforming people, because everyone has rights. Everyone's a human being at the end of the day. So the fact that you are different, that you and I are not the same, or we are perceived to be different, does not in any way allow you to have any rights which are better than my rights, or it doesn't allow society to treat me any differently than you are, because everybody has got the right by virtue of being born human under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and we all have the exact same rights. So your right to education, your right to freedom, your right to association, your right to expression, your right to religion, your right to citizenship. We all have the same rights. So, and you find being transgender or being not the same as what is perceived to be normal, which is different to the heteronormative people. You'd find that we face huge levels and high levels of systemic violence and institutional violence. And what I mean is the fact that when transgender people go and visit a public health institution, for example, the medical personnel will either not want to treat them, secondly, treat them in such a way that it's obvious that they don't want to treat them. Thirdly, they'll gossip among each other and call other people to come see this freak of nature. Now, this is just a human being that's therefore to be treated the same as you or the person behind the camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's to address those issues. How do we bring those issues to the table?
Okay, just hold on. Because I wanted to include that in the discussion which we are talking about treat. Daniel says, my question is, why change what God made you to be?
But God made me to be what I feel I am. So the thing is, the fact that God gave me something between my legs that doesn't match to my brain, that's the way God made me. So God made me like this. So I haven't changed anything. I've just lived my life to what it was meant to be.
Daniel, the answer is, she says she hasn't changed anything. And that's, we're talking about the birth of Treat. And where is it now as an organization?
Well, it's registered.
Uh-huh.
It's up and running. Like I said, we've done research around the country. We are doing some programs at the moment. We'll be reaching out to the health and the justice sector to sensitize them. We also will be working with families of transgender people, just to get people to know. And they also slowly go into the communities, just so people get to know what it is that we face as transgender people.
Okay. Then Brian said, so she lied. So Brian, I understand your prayers has been answered. You said you could not see the comments. So I can see you are also responding to a comment that is also on the comments. So your prayers has been answered. And there is Gigi. She said, you are very courageous.
Thank you very much.
Then Joker's favor, Tarvinga, how did you come to know that you needed / wanted to become a woman? This is what she is talking about, and this is what we have been talking about from the beginning of the program. As we go also, we are going to discuss about it. Thank you for watching ZimdiTV. We are streaming live from Bulawayo, the second capital city of Zimbabwe. Like our Facebook page, and also remember to share, so that you can also invite your friends and they can come and watch an exciting and informative program at ZimdiTV. Our motto is building bridges. Treat, how many members does it have?
We're not a membership organization.
Okay.
We are a non-governmental organization, and like I say, our mandate is to address the rights issues. So I can't say we have members.
Okay.
Because like nobody joins Treat to say I'm a member. So we just look at issues that they face as people.
Okay. Dre, Ja, Ricky, do you have kids? Have you ever been with a woman? She also said she doesn't want to talk about that, but as with the kids, we have talked about it. Dre, you've been with us from the beginning. Fortunate Mugwagwa, Chituri K. Good for you for being who you want to be. It's high time the society stop telling people who to be.
Thank you.
We're talking about the challenges that the transgender people face within the community. What are these challenges?
Oh, they're huge. I just touched on what they face in the health issue. Even for example, I'm fortunate in that that the work that I do, I work regionally and internationally because I belong to regional and international trans activism bodies. So which is why you couldn't get hold of me for so long. I spend most of my time out of the country than I do in the country. But even like just accessing hormones, because a lot of transgender people, for them to feel more comfortable in themselves, they want the body to represent what they want it to look like. So they would need hormones that would alter their body.
Okay.
So trans women take estrogen, and they have androgens which actually block the male hormones. That allows the breasts to grow, and it feminizes the body, it feminizes the face, etc., etc. And conversely, the trans men take testosterone, and then they grow beards, and their voice gets deeper, and they become more masculine. So to get those, even to access that medication is really difficult in Zimbabwe. That's on the health sector. There's high levels of bullying in schools. Children bullying other children that they perceive to be different to what they actually are. Formal employment is a huge issue. Like I said, Cheat did the research 2 years ago, and of the total number of trans people that we reached in Zimbabwe, only less than 3% of them were formally employed. And the other 97% we can safely say was due to the fact of the physical presentation. So if somebody comes with a school certificate that says male and a woman walks through the door, it's a problem.
Yes.
Or it says female and a man walks through the door, it's a problem. Even they face huge problems in the faith sector, for example, where our research identified that 74% of our respondents to the research had experienced sexual assault or sexual harassment by a faith leader. Now, a faith leader could be a pastor, it could be a cultural leader, somebody that's seen to be a leader of faith, an imam or whatever, So, yeah, there was that as well. Like I said, also suicide is a huge problem. It's just compounded by all these problems that we face. People find, for example, they're facing all these issues in their lives, and they have no one to turn to and nowhere to turn to. So a lot of them have contemplated, 44% contemplated killing themselves, at least once in their lifetime. So that's how huge and that's how grave and severe the problems are that we face as transgender people.
Anna Gora says you are very courageous, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Dre Ja is back again. Do whatever makes you happy, Ricky. Life is too short. We are all sinners and only God can judge. And he puts the hand.
No.
And Fadzai Chiefs, live your life. You only have one life. Imagine those who are breathing their last breath and knowing they never lived their lives. Well done to you.
Thank you.
And again to Ferry Maziriri, thank you for watching. We are streaming live from Bulawayo, and our guest today is Ricky Nathanson. She was born a man and now she is living as a woman. We are talking about her life, the challenges that she has been facing, or the challenges that she is facing. She is now a trans woman activist. She is also telling us about the challenges that the transgender people faced, and she has also said 74 or more than 70% of the respondents from the research they've done is that they have some harassment from faith leaders. How then can we handle such a situation with the people that you have interacted with, or the trans men or woman that comes to you? And they want to come out in open. What advice can you give to them?
That's a very difficult question, because a lot of them have got restrictions in that they still are living under the roofs of their parents.
Okay.
A lot of them are not financially independent. So if you don't have money of your own and you're not working and your next plate of food is coming from your mother and father, and your mother and father are prescribing the way in which you must live, it really is difficult. So my advice to them is to find yourself. And it sounds very like Oprah Winfrey, but you need to. Let me contextualize it to you. Because I've always been true to who I am, I found that life opened up doors for me. And then you find those people who are in denial, or those people who live in the shadows, their lives are very difficult because they're not being true to themselves. And I believe that the higher power, that be it God, or be it the universe, or be whatever it is, that, because I believe that there's some force higher than we are, puts you on this earth for a certain reason and for a certain purpose, and you need to find that purpose and find that reason. And once you have discovered what it actually is, you'll find the world will open up to you. I know I haven't really given you a definitive answer because there is not one. I can't really tell you what people should do or shouldn't do. But I would advise young people is just to be strong, to hang in there, and then find your independence, and be your financial independence, your liberation as a person. And even with Cheat, for example, the mandate with Cheat is I only My first people I employ are transgender people because we cannot find jobs. So if I can create jobs for 10 people out of 150, I've solved at least 7.5% of the trans community's employment problems in Zimbabwe. I wish I could employ 150 trans people in Zimbabwe. But like I said, we're still a new growing organization. The donors, I now am known internationally and regionally. So if I drop an email or I'm seen at a conference, donors always flock to speak to me. So to find funding and things hasn't been that difficult.
Okay.
But then again, it's also to identify. It's all well and good for us to have money, but what do you do with it? And you can't have money to give people. You have to do job. You have to do work with
jobs.
it. Yeah.
Then there's Shalom Chaitika. How is your relationship with God like? Are you angry with God?
No, not at all. I'm not angry with God at all. No.
Mad Bombi Jokonia. That's madness. That's your comment. We respect your views and comments as well. And Marvelous Dube Bango, you are a great encouragement to the Zimbabweans who are scared to live their lives. Then Rangai Chinyangarara Anozara Here, does she give birth? We have talked about that. Then Chipo Masango says, I think we should appreciate how God made us. I think they are also supporting what you have said. It might be coming from the other way. And then she says, Chipo comes again and says, for the why. For the why, Chipo, tell us more. For the why is that she is here to answer all your views and comments, and we also respect your views and comments, and it will be very much important to ask questions, those burning questions that you may have had for a very long time. She is here to answer them, because some of you might have read about her, as I've said from the beginning, and you never get a chance to ask her live on a television program, and this is the program where you have the chance to ask her, and she is here and open to all the questions that you want to ask her. And also for those that wants to get in touch with her, the email address will be or is scrolling live on the screen if you have got questions, and if you are in a situation that you think she may help you, please get in touch with her on the email that is on the screen. As we round up now, what is your advice to trans men and trans women who have not come out?
Like I said, this leads on from what I said earlier on about the young trans people. Is you have to be strong, and you have to be true to yourself at the end of the day. If you find a lot of the problems that we face are made by ourselves, because our mind is a very, very powerful organ, a very powerful tool. And you'll find by living in denial and living in the shadows, you've heard of transphobia, same like homophobia. You are putting yourself, you're internalizing the transphobia in yourself. So you yourself are afraid of yourself, so you are causing those problems. So my advice is for them to be true to themselves. Pardon me. And to just live the life that they're meant to live.
Okay, then Marvelous Dube Bango says, how much did the transition cost?
Like I said, I haven't had surgery yet, so I'm on hormone therapy.
Maybe it's the hormone therapy that
it costs about 1,000 rand.
1,000 rands a month, which is very prohibitive to some who might want to come out with it.
And which is why these are issues we need to address with our health sector. Really make it available for our young people that don't have the opportunities that I have to travel.
So it's not available in Zimbabwe?
No. If it is, I think I actually haven't tried.
Okay.
But there's a trans man I know who accesses his hormone therapy from here in Bulawayo. But a lot of us that are on hormone therapy access from out of the country.
Then there's Tatelicious Karigambe. I know you are watching from Sweden.
How
She
is she?
said, "Well done, Ricky. You are uplifting voices and weeping tears of the transgender community in Zimbabwe. Hashtag wakati koshera mufunge."
Delicious, I know her. How are you?
Tatelicious, greetings from ZimdiTV and also from Ricky as well. Then Anna Gora says, Ndafara, at last we now have people vaneta to live bottled life, Goga. Then there is Mimi Z Amai Kimberly. Who Ndineruja Shua. Well, that's your comment, Mimi Z. Then there is Dre Ja. She has been with us. Tatelicious, anti-transgenders can't get pregnant. Please tell us, my sis. Well, I hope she's going to respond on that comment on the comments platform as well. Then Justin Hector just says times. Then Maria Enoch Makombe is watching. Thank you very much for watching our program today. We are streaming live from Bulawayo. And who are we talking to? We are talking to Ricky Nathanson. She was born a man and now she is living as a proud woman. This is what we have been talking about, why she have decided to take such a process. And as I've said, those that have questions, she is here so that we won't leave anything hanging. We all read your views and comments. If we miss them, sometimes it is because of the network. Now, as we conclude to the health issue, have you ever tried to engage the Ministry of Health?
Not well.
Okay.
This is like I said. We've only been in existence since last year, and funding has been a major hindrance.
Okay.
You know, to do any work for me to go to Harare, it costs money.
Okay.
So it's only now do I have funding.
Okay.
And our first port of call is are the health professionals, and the ministry is one of them. Yeah.
Okay. Then Mimi Zimai Kimbali says, "Imi ndati huku zine noise is." That's what makes ZimdiTV interesting, and it's live. We are streaming and sitting in the garden right here in Parkview. This is where street offices are, and it makes it interesting. And Fadzai Chims says, "How old are you?"
A lady never gives us their age.
Fadza yanga abvunza futi hanzi jongwe riri kuchemei.
Meaning?
The beds.
Okay.
Then there's an issue which I read in the press that you are saying it happened with 2.7 million. Why?
Because of what took me through in 2014. It was that arrest that we spoke about a while ago was a harrowing experience. I mean, I was locked up for 3 days and 2 nights in a dark.
On that, when they arrested you and locked you, which cell did they put you, male or female? Fortunately, I had to undergo gender verification examinations. So before I was locked away, I was sent to one of the local government hospitals, and the doctor having prescribed that I was transgender, phoned the police and said I needed to be kept in isolation. So I was in my own cell. I wasn't with other people. Oh.
Yeah. So that was one good thing that came out of the arrest. But anyway, so I was stripped naked in front of 5 police officers.
You were what?
Stripped naked in front of 5 male police officers.
Male police officers?
Yeah, they wanted to verify whether I was male or female. I was vilified, I was humiliated in those 3 days and that 2 days. I suffered terrible mental anguish.
Just let's zero in on that. When they undressed you, what was their comments? What would they say?
No, they wanted to see, are you a man or a woman? So they asked me to pull down my pants, and which I did. And without a court order or anything. So, I mean, that in itself is against the law.
And then they said she's a woman or he's a man.
And they laughed and joked and really wasn't a good experience. Yeah, so those 3 days were actually like the worst. That was the worst time of my life ever. So that's the reason why I've decided to because they actually violated at least 5 of my constitutional rights as a human being. So which is why we went to the High Court. And yeah, it's for different things like mental anguish, cruel and inhumane treatment, the stripping in front of the police officers, the sending me to two government hospitals of a court order, because that means a court order, and it was all just done verbally. So yeah,
Okay.
so and I'm a human rights activist, so I mean I know the law and I know what my rights are, which they violated to.
Okay, and then Dre Ja back again says sorry Hako for what you went through
Oh,
in
thank
arrested by the police. Then we have Esther Chukurune says I have a few questions for Ricky. Sorry, you might have discussed this already, but I have only just joined in. And Esther says, what religion are you, Ricky?
I am. I'm an Anglican. But I also am of Jewish faith. So, yeah,
Okay. Oh, okay. And then she says, what made you want to change your gender? This is what we were talking about. Sorry, Esther, I know at the end of the program, you will have to just have to watch it again, because this has been the whole discussion about why she changed, and the whole lot of information is there. If we start now, we might spend the whole day. And the last question says, and how do you feel now as a woman?
Oh, at peace. I'm at peace. Now I'm happy.
There you are, Esther. She says, now I am at peace. So as Marvelous Dube Bango also has the same question as Esther, which says, what was the motive behind the transition? To Marvelous, I want to say, this is also the motive why we are streaming live the program today, and she has answered all those questions, and I hope you will also be able to watch the program again and have your questions answered. Shalom Chaitika says, knowing the stains on the LGBT community in our country, do you think it is possible to get funding and help
From
the
where?
government?
Not from the government. No.
Okay, she says no, right?
But I haven't tried. Maybe I need to try.
But maybe it's a non-starter.
You never know. You can't say no until you've tried, and that's it. No.
Yes, she's going to try. Ricky, your last word, not to the transgender community, but to Zimbabweans and everyone watching right now.
Yeah, well, my last word to everyone watching and to Zimbabweans is like, allow people to be who they are. You know, like I spoke briefly about the arrest and that the torment I went through was just for being the person that I am. I haven't killed anybody. I haven't robbed from anybody. I've done nothing but be who I am, and that is what I was punished for. So I would say that the people in general need to live and let live and love each other. You know, it's the hatred that fuels the anger, that fuels the bad experiences that people face. So if everyone is accepting and loving of each other, then we wouldn't have all this, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so this is what needs to actually happen.
Okay, and to the transgender community.
To them, I'd say they must be strong, and they must live their lives and be who they are, and do what they need to do, and just be true to themselves.
Okay, and your last question as we conclude, which country would you recommend in terms of doctors that can do the process? It's from Marvelous. Thailand, as he says. Well, Donald T. Muchao, TVE Inemoto, from live cricket to live what we are streaming now. Thank you, Donald. Yes, this is ZimdiTV. As I've said,
We're going to have a tour.
Building bridges, and from now we are going to the donkey abattoir. You might have heard about it, that in Bulawayo donkey meat is available. Is it available? I don't know, but we have made an appointment and we'll be streaming live from the abattoir with the owner of that abattoir to give us more about the donkey meat. Ricky, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the information that you have shared with us and allowing us at least to talk to you.
Thank you. And thanks to Zimbabwe.
Thanks.
And everybody else.
Yes, and what is left for me is to say to our technical crew, Evans Tavaguta, Julius Patson, and Sylvester Tapumane, thank you for streaming live this program, and I hope you have learned a lot and you have been informed. And let's continue the discussion. Ricky's email is also there, and if you can't get hold of her, get hold of ZimdiTV. We now know where to find her. My name is Robert Tafumane. Thank you very much for watching, but don't go away because we are going to the donkey meat abattoir. For now, bye-bye.
Vote. What does it mean to be Zimbabwean? To be Zimbabwean is to carry the mark of leadership. And leadership begins when you embrace your purpose and take responsibility. These times we're living in are evidence that each one of us was born in this generation for a great purpose. A purpose to shape Zimbabwe's future, a responsibility to carry the promise and live in the Zimbabwe we want. Zimbabwe is waiting for a generation of people who understand the meaning of standing up. You are the stepping stone, the one with the flame of inspiration, the one with the passion, the one who has what it takes to move Zimbabwe forward. It's time to stand up and do what is right. It's time to rise and do your part. It's beyond a privilege. It's an inheritance, a pledge that everyone has to make. So rise, Zimbabwe. Simuka, Zimbabwe. Pakama, Zimbabwe. It's time to pledge, register, and go vote.
The eagle is taking off with infallible proofs. It's a new dawn. One night with the king.
What does it mean to be Zimbabwean? To be Zimbabwean is to carry the mark of leadership. And leadership begins when you embrace your purpose and take responsibility. These times we're living in are evidence that each one of us was born in this generation for a great purpose. A purpose to shape Zimbabwe's future, a responsibility to carry the promise and live in the Zimbabwe we want. Zimbabwe is waiting for a generation of people who understand the meaning of standing up. You are the stepping stone, the one with the flame of inspiration, the one with the passion, the one who has what it takes to move Zimbabwe forward. It's time to stand up and do what is right. It's time to rise and do your part. It's beyond a privilege. It's an inheritance, a pledge that everyone has to make. So rise, Zimbabwe. Simuka, Zimbabwe. Pakama, Zimbabwe. It's time to pledge, register, and go vote.
Mount Zion Music.
The eagle is taking off with infallible proofs. It's a new dawn. One night with the king. The eagle is taking off with infallible proofs. It's a new dawn. One night with the king.
First Nation over everything.
podcast has been powered by ZimdiTV, a division of Slime Media Production, specialist in social media skills.